Hey all, so today I'm going to be fixing the inner and outer tie rods on our Volkswagen Atlas. It's a 2018 model, and we were driving a couple of days ago, hit some ice, everyone's fine, but we did run the vehicle into the side curb, and when we got home, after we got some check engine lights, vehicle was driving very strangely. We got home and we saw, sure enough, the front passenger side wheel was turned in about 20 or 30 degrees, even with the steering wheel straight. Definitely don't want to be driving with that. Luckily, we were close to home, got home fine. I had to order the parts from Volkswagen. You can't get them. You can't get the tie rods from AutoZone or O'Reilly's. They don't carry them. So I just got the parts in from the dealership. I'll include the part numbers in the info link. And this video details out how I did the replacement. Hopefully it helps you if you ever run into this. Check it out. So I've already taken off the what's called the tie rod end, which is this piece here. This actually goes into the
wheel hub.
So you can see it goes in right here. And then there's a bolt that goes in to the bottom. Looks like this.
You're gonna have to get two special tools for this job. The first is a tie rod removal or compression tool. You need that to get the outer tie rod end out of the wheel hub there. I rented mine from AutoZone, and you can see here it's got different forks that you use as a lever. You put it in, and then you use leverage to pop it out. And the reason for that is that it's wedged into the hub. You can actually see the wedge here. And when you tighten that or compress it, it's going to be in there real good.
So I'm done with that. And then once you loosen that up, you want to already have this bolt loose or almost out. I actually tried to hammer it and that didn't work. I really needed that tool to do it. And then this will be on here just like that. Now it's really important that you, when you loosen this, which is wedged up to prevent this from turning, when you loosen this, you need to count how many turns to take this off of the inner tie rod, regardless of whether you're just replacing this or replacing your whole setup. The reason for that is you're not going to get it perfect, but that way, when you put the new one on or the new setup on, you're going to be aligned enough to drive the vehicle to a tire shop. It's not going to be perfect. You're still going to want to get it aligned, but it's going to be close enough to where you can drive the car. If you don't count that, you're gonna end up playing around with alignment a lot before you can even safely drive the car without tearing your tires to shreds. Once you do that, take some needle nose pliers, squeeze that in and pull it off. It's just a retainer clip, because we're gonna want to pull this boot off. Now, towards the back of the boot is another clamp. I'm trying to find it actually. And you're going to need a screwdriver to pop that off. Looks like this. When it's closed, it's latched in, and it's holding back the boot here. And you just put a screwdriver in there and twist it, and it should pop loose like you've seen here. Now, I figured this might get damaged in the process, so I ended up getting a new one. And by the way, there's another side note. The car parts stores do not seem to sell aftermarket or like OEM parts for the Atlas yet. So I had to actually order the inner and outer tie rods directly from Volkswagen. You can see the kit here. So this is the outer or tie rod end. It's already fully lubricated. And then here's the inner tie rod replacement. And then like I said, I actually bought the replacement clamps, a new nut, all the little parts there. I'll include all the parts in the link. In just a minute, I'll show you how I'm actually going to take this inner tie rod out. That's what you need the second special part for. I just got this from AutoZone as well. It's a rental, and it comes in a kit like this with all kinds of fittings. I already figured out which fitting works. You just take you play around with which ones. But yeah, this one, I might actually have to get one smaller, but this one should actually do the trick. And then you just insert that into this long sort of pipe. And once you've inserted it, you lock it in place. And then you can actually slide this over the entire tie rod. But before I do that, I need to take this nut off and the clamp and the boot completely off. Now, it might be a good idea to have some silicone or grease because it'll make it easier to remove this boot. Slip it off. There you go. Keep that. It shouldn't be damaged, so you can just reuse that. That keeps this nice and dry and out of the elements. And then you just slide this on, put it over the bolt, just like that, and then you've got a regular ratchet end here that you can use to just leverage it out. Alright, so I got it loose, and now you can tell, if I compare the old and the new tie rods, just how bad this guy got bent. So yeah, that'll do it for sure. You don't want to be driving with that. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and get the new inner tie rod threaded in, then I'll tighten it up, and then we'll do the outer tie rod. Alright, so here you can see I've actually already turned the rack and pinion, the steering mechanism, to make sure everything looks good. But you can see I've got the new outer tie rod. It's securely bolted in here. I've got the new inner unbent tie rod, and then I've got the boot back on. Everything's been tightened to spec, so make sure you check and get these tightened up. And the last step here is just getting the wheels back on and going to get this Atlas aligned. So there you have it, inner and outer tie rod replacements on a 2018 Volkswagen Atlas SEL. Thanks for watching.